Mesmo adiada para março na Europa, a PS3 já mexe e Portugal recebeu recentemente Death Price da Insomniac, empresa que desenvolveu Resistance Fall of Man em exclusivo para a PS3. Esta apresentação serviu igualmente para os jornalistas colocarem as mãos pela primeira vez em Portugal na PS3 e para sentirem o poder de um FPS na nova consola da Sony. O jogo leva-nos a 1951, altura em que o mundo era um desastre, a União Soviética estava sem força e a Europa Ocidental estava destruída pela guerra e sem sinais de vida, subjugada que estava a uma espécie desconhecida. O Reino Unido era o último reduto de vida humana e é a partir daqui que Resistance se desenvolve. O jogo só nos chega em março, mas Gonçalo Brito, da Megascore, sacou a Ted Price alguns comentários sobre Resistance, a nova geração de consolas e o trabalho da Insomniac.
Insomniac is best known for making games that appeal especially to the younger, like Spyro the Dragon and Ratchet & Clank. Why did you decide to return to the FPS genre?
This was a chance for a lot of us who love first-person shooters to get back to first-person shooters. And because we were making a game for the launch of the PlayStation 3, we knew that the audience that would be present at the launch would be most likely more into first-person shooters than platformers. So both of those kind of opportunities converged at once, and as a company we got to branch out to first-person shooters and platformers at the same time.
So what unsuspected difficulties have you encountered while making Resistance Fall of Man?
Well, I think every new game presents new difficulties, and even on Spyro, we ran into new challenges. We ran into plenty of new challenges here because we were moving into a genre that we hadn't been playing or even making for a few years, and we were on brand new hardware. The PlayStation 3 hardware is very different from the PlayStation 2 hardware. So we spent a lot of time creating a new engine for the PlayStation 3 and rebuilding many of the systems that had powered our games in the past.
So how do you see the current fight between Microsoft's HD and Sony's Blu-ray format? Does having a disc with more or less space really influences the way you program a game?
Certainly having more space really helps development. For us in particular on Resistance Fall of Man, we're using a lot of the Blu-ray. We use it for game content, we use it for sound, we use it for movies, and even better, we can finally have one disc that is available worldwide in the same, with all the same content. In the past, we had to make separate discs for the different territories because we couldn't fit all of the localized audio on one disc. Now it's all together in one.
In what ways does Resistance uses the motion sensor functionality of the PS3 controller? Do you feel it has a very important part on gameplay? Motion?
Well, for us, we use it in a couple of ways. In the game, there are a lot of creatures that will grab you and start, gnawing on your face or shaking you. And what you can do is you can shake the controller to shake them off. Very helpful. Furthermore, in multiplayer, you can get tagged by the bullseye. So in other words, that's one of our weapons. If somebody tags you and his bullet starts seeking you, you can shake the controller to shake off the tag. And finally, in multiplayer, you can tilt the controller to the left to bring up the map, tilt it to the right to bring up a leaderboard. It's just a shortcut for players.
Do you consider Resistance Fall of Man to be the Gears of War killer?
I think Gears of War and Resistance Fall of Man are very different games, and I think they both occupy an excellent place for gamers in this industry. So, we don't really see the two games as competing necessarily. I mean, they're on different platforms.
What can we expect from the multiplayer mode? How will it distinguish itself from the competition?
Multiplayer mode, first of all, offers 40 players online at a time, and that's the most ever for a console launch title. It also has 6 different modes of play, so it offers a lot for everybody. It's also got ranked play, it's got unranked play. It's got an amazing amount of customization, so if you want to create different types of games, you can definitely do that. Plus, it's got plenty of rewards. As you play the ranked game, you earn experience. The more experience you earn, the more you move up in terms of military rank. And there's 60 different military ranks you can occupy. Each one unlocks special rewards. So there's a lot of depth to multiplayer.
So in Resistance, you're clearly exploring the more technical side of the PS3, like graphics and physics. Are you guys thinking about using the power of this new generation to explore other things, like more complex characters and plots?
Well, I think we're already doing that on PlayStation 3. We're certainly using the PlayStation 3's power to create more sophisticated artificial intelligence, better navigation for the enemies, better dynamic lighting, you name it. I mean, we use the PlayStation 3 to do much more than we could on previous consoles.
What's the game that has struck you the most if you had to name one game?
Me personally, it's always been Super Metroid. That was my favorite. I grew up playing Miyamoto games, and I think some of our other games, some of our Ratchet games, owe a lot to what we learned from playing Miyamoto games. Resistance is very different, but what we all love about those games and now our games is that there's a lot of variety. We always strive to give the player lots of choices, lots of ways to experiment, and the weapons in Resistance are a good example of that.
Just like Ratchet and Clank, Resistance has some unusual and imaginative weapons. From where do you draw your inspiration to conceive them?
I think one of the great things about working at Insomniac is that it's a very collaborative atmosphere. Everybody has an opportunity to put forth ideas for weapons, for story, for characters. With the weapons in particular, we had a lot of people saying, hey, what if we did this? And some of the ideas didn't work, but a lot did. And as a result, we got some pretty crazy weapons. But they're all complementary. They're not clones of each other, and they all work well together as a whole.